Hey guys, this is Cheng Wat here. Today we're going to explore how we're going to do post-processing on making your prints smooth. Really smooth like this. Right, you can see from the reflection. So most of you have been always asking me how I do my post-processing, what do I do to make my prints really smooth. We've been doing this for the past 4 or 5 years, doing architecture 3D printing for buildings. And yeah, we're going to show you step by step on how we do it. Hope you enjoy it. So here's the printer setup I have at my house. Because of the lockdown that we have, it's a temporary makeshift. I have it at my backyard. No enclosure, just printing with this Ender 3 Pros. I have 4 units there running. So you can see we print them flat. So after the print, this is the preparation of sticking the jointing the parts together. From here, normally I would see the better sides, which joins much better. So if like these two parts are identical, so I'll try to see which is the better joint. Sometimes when you sand it down, they may have uneven surface and it's very hard to get the glues to join up. So you can see as I stick them, I generally will slide them down rather than putting it traditionally, to bring it together. Oops, drop it. Yeah, that way I can spread the glue to the other side of the other parts. Yeah, and I'll typically use something straight to actually get the two parts to line up. Yeah, try not to use my hands because I don't want to get the glue on my fingers. So this is just a normal super glue. Yeah. When we stick this ABS plastics, right? Generally it sticks pretty fast. This was done like a minute ago, and you can see the two parts joined pretty strong. And this is the joint is quite small, but you can see it's pretty solid, even though there's some gaps there, right? Normally I'll just drip the glue a bit on where the gap is, and just let it sit there and let the glue drip down to the other openings. So I'll leave it that way. Yeah, the place is a bit tight because I have no working from home. I don't have a space that I can work with my computer. Yeah, it's because I need to refer to the drawings that I have, which part joins back to which part, right? So here, then that's how it go again. And yeah, I can't line it up because I don't have any item. I hope I can find a piece of item. So I normally leave it to dry for maybe a minute or two, and from there we'll bring it to a place to outdoors to do the spraying. What we do is the first coat of primer. I'll use the Anchor brand spray-on primer. There are many ways to do priming. You can use putties, even Bondo. For these like buildings that are flat pieces, I normally use this spray-on because it gets into the small crevices, the small little spaces that I need it to be done, and it's much quicker being a spray-on. So I get these Anchor spray-ons normally in hardware shops. In Malaysia here is roughly around 8 ringgit. They are called the grey surface primer. Yeah, you can get it on online. Yeah, so I'll do a rough spray, give it a good shake, and just a rough coat first, not too thick for the first coat. And yeah, you can see that the spray on takes a couple of seconds and one piece is done. Fortunately that the weather is good today, so when we do the spray outdoor, it dries quite quickly. Otherwise, when I'm in my workshop, it will take probably around 30 minutes if I don't use the heat gun, the heater gun. So you can see the crevices is still visible. The lines of the prints are still very visible. So I'll let this the first layer of primer to dry up, so it brings up a bit more of lower the lower parts, and reduce the surface from the lower parts and the higher parts. It's easier to sand down the primer than to sand down the plastics itself.
Few moments later.
So this is after it dries. I put it out in the sun for around 10-15 minutes. Yeah, there are some areas that are not really 100% dried up, but generally it's most of it is dry. You can see the layers are a bit better than the first round. So what I'll do here is I'll show you how I do my sand. I'll sand down with this 120 grit sandpaper. I'll cut them into normally tear it or cut them into a smaller piece for me to hand sand down. Here I'll normally use my I'll do a hand sand because it's a more like artisan work now, where you require a lot of control, how much pressure to put onto which part and which area needs more sanding. Yeah, so yeah, so after sanding through this thing, it normally takes around a piece like this, maybe it takes around 5 minutes to 10 minutes, depending how detailed I want to sand down. Yeah, if I am hardworking, I'll sand pretty good. If not, I'll probably do 2 or 3 rounds. I'll sand it, prime it, sand it, and prime it. So yeah, so basically this is quite a long sand down, which took maybe probably around 7 minutes. So you would want to see this kind of patterns, more grays, lines, and typically a lot of white areas that means that you have sand down quite well. This is a similar spray, just a different company. The one that I used to buy is not available from the shop, but I can show you the one that I have. Yeah, this is the one. Primer Surfacer Gray, yeah, from Anchor brand. So from here, the second round I'll typically go through a bit thicker, sometimes 2 rounds before it dries actually. This is to fill up the gaps even more, considering that I've already done the first round of sanding. And after it dries, right, you can see the quality is like almost 70% there. You don't see the lines that much anymore. Just a bit here and there which you may have missed. You can see the joint there. There's some gaps there. So that joint there, normally I will sand it down, and after that I will put a bit of putty to cover the gap and do some spray down. Yeah, so you can see it's a pretty fast step if you do it properly. Yeah. Here I'll just do another sand down, of all the areas, but it's not going to be as thorough as the first round. You can see after sand, you still get to have a lot of gray areas. And I'll just spray the other parts to do the first round of coat. Now this is the second coat. Sorry, this is the third coat for the first part. Yeah, so you can see the comparison. It's pretty good. It's pretty smooth. There's still a bit of layer lines there and artifacts, but compared with the first, this is the first spray. It's much better. So it depends on how much smoother you want. You can just repeat the process, spray down and sand it, spray down and sand it. My process would be I would do 2 rounds of spray and 1 round of sanding, and normally I just go like 2 passes, or maximum also like 4 passes. So yeah, generally it works well. It's just going up to 2 or 3 passes, and that will probably take around 2 hours, 3 hours. Yeah, including the drying time, sanding down and drying time. See, you can see this. You can see the lines. So this probably will go on 2 rounds. Probably 2 rounds of more sanding. So this is just one layer of, and this is still just one layer, just sanded. This is 2 layers of primer. This is almost 4 layers of primer. Yeah, here I use wood putty just to test out. You can use whatever putty you can find for small joints. Try to be careful with the usage of putty, because if it's too thick, it will crack, and if it's not dry properly, the air bubbles will form when you do your spray. So make sure that it's really dry. So after it dries up, I'll just take a sandpaper and just sand it down again, and prepare it. I'll dust it down, wipe it a bit, and prepare it for another coat of spray. Yeah, so this is the final part of spraying. So usually I'll do 2 steps of spray. The first round is just to give a rough coat, and later after it dries, I'll give a second round of spray, so that it can cover all the areas that I've sanded, and make sure that the parts are all even and smooth. So yeah, I actually for this part I'll do a slightly more heavier spray. Yeah, I give you a close-up shot. It's still wet and glossy. Let the primer to dry. So as you can see, this is after it dries, you can see it's much smoother. And normally I will just touch up on the where the joint is, where we did the putty. I'll just sand it down and just spray that area. But generally this is good, and it's ready for the actual color to go on now. Yeah, so the parts will be put down to dry, and we can see this is the second part. I'm not too happy with the joint over here. If I can zoom in, you can see. Yeah, let me focus this. Yeah, I would normally take a finer grit sandpaper and just sand it down again, and just spray it maybe 2 or 3 rounds. So it's all depends on your attention to detail.
So how was it? I hope you got a lot of information from the sharing. There's a lot of post-processing involved when doing these modeling works. So this is just a portion of what we do, normally what we do. And we always put the best quality and the best detail in our work, because our clients always expecting that kind of quality from us. So if parts don't come out smooth, don't come out the way they expected, yeah, it goes back to our name, our company name. So normally we will make sure that we have good quality in our products. So yeah, I do hope you enjoy that this sharing. And yeah, if you have any questions, put down in the comments. And if you like the video, do subscribe. I'm trying to build up this YouTube so that we can have more tutorials and more of this post-processing in this 3D printing world. Yep. Thanks for watching again. Thank you.